Oh, we are back on this lovely Tuesday. My name is Logan, and I'm on a mission to implement decentralized governance into the fabric of society. Justin, how's it going?
What's up, everyone? I'm Justin, along for the journey.
Yeah, and what a journey it is. To start off today, I want to talk about a little journey I had to Fort Myers, Florida on Friday and Saturday this last weekend. And really, what it was an event put on by Intersect where Intersect members could come and meet each other, learn about what everyone's working on, learn more about the Cardano upcoming governance actions and all of that. So I got to listen to, I actually got to participate in the first ever DREP debate. There is a live stream of it, so if you want to watch the debate, you can. I also got to present about Clarity and a new product that we are launching. I got to hear about the marketing working group that's going to become the marketing committee and all they have planned for the future and their utilization of the Cardano budget as well. So yeah, it was a really cool event. And what'd you get up to this week? And Justin, anything exciting happening in your side of the world?
Watching some playoff football on my end. Not as productive in the Cardano sphere, but a good weekend nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, that's the first thing we wanted to talk about was the GM 2025. Overall, my learnings was that everything is being very, very carefully thought about it, and it's going to be a busy season for Cardano governance coming up. So the Plomin hard fork has been approved. So this is turning Cardano into an actual, you can call it a network state, you can call it a DAO, but there's going to be a treasury of 1.5 billion ADA or somewhere abouts there that's going to be unlocked for the community to govern. And what's happening and what has been happening in the past is that a budget process is being made. Different committees have been spun up in order to usher the process of understanding, okay, what do we actually need to spend the budget on? What are the core infrastructures that need to be funded? What are the open source initiatives that need to be funded? And all of that different type of stuff. So in terms of like a timeline, or more so just like a framework to think about the upcoming governance actions, is first we're going to have, once the Plomin hard fork goes live, which I think it's tomorrow or something, a few days after that, what you're going to see is a vote by DREPs to confirm the constitution that the delegates wrote over the last 6 months or so in all those different workshops, to see if that gets approved. Once that gets approved, the Cardano community has to come to consensus on a net change limit. So what the net change limit is the maximum amount of ADA or assets that can be taken out of the treasury. And really the thinking behind this, which I learned as I listened to Jack Briggs talk, is that we always want to make sure that the treasury is bringing in more for the year than is in the yearly budget. So 350 million, I think, is the number being floated around for the net change limit. I know the Intersect budget rides around 200 million, and that will be allocated to a ton of different things in the Cardano ecosystem to make the chain grow, and to make the chain tick and operate and be reliable, and all of that different type of stuff. Justin, any comments just on the upcoming governance events, including the net change and the constitutional ratification?
Yeah, I think just like you said, it's important that Cardano is a sustainable and profitable ecosystem. Just because it's a blockchain doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be able to pay for its own bills. So making sure that it's taking in more than it's spending or has a path to do so, I think is super important. And yeah, I think it's cool that Clarity was able to play a role in the ratification of this constitution and the steps that we've taken towards getting to where we are right now. And we're closer than we've ever been to all of this governance on chain cool stuff being live. So super exciting times for Cardano. And yeah, just again, happy that we were able to play a small role in that process over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. And then after the net change limit gets decided, that's when the actual budget voting will start to happen. And it's being proposed that there will be 5 different buckets of the budget that will be separately voted on by DREPs and the Cardano community. So keep an eye out for that. If you don't want to keep an eye out for that, you can delegate to us because we're on top of it. We're making sure we're in the know. We're making sure that if we don't know what's happening, we have the connections to find out what's happening, and we will definitely be participating in all of these votes to make sure that the Cardano ecosystem gets the funding it needs to continue to be a force in the blockchain ecosystem, and also just making sure that projects within the ecosystem that are bringing users into the blockchain get funded as well. So those are all our main goals coming up. Another new announcement here is in terms of DREP delegation, the Clarity co-founder DREP now has 3.95 million ADA delegated to it, which is very cool. We're honored. Thank you to all of our delegators. We're going to make sure that we're transparent in all of our decision-making processes and that we are voting for the best outcomes for Cardano business or people who own businesses that operate on Cardano and entrepreneurs that operate on Cardano as well. But yeah, super thankful for that. In other news, we're not Plum and hard fork ready. Is that right, Justin?
That's right. So yeah, happy to be able to announce that we're ready for the hard fork officially. No more downtime expected as we were finishing up some node upgrades over the weekend. Things are looking good, and yeah, we expect to be fully alive and operational as the hard fork hits the chain officially.
Well done. Excited about that. It's definitely the governance era in Cardano. So the next thing to chat about is we are launching a new product. It is called a blockchain governance app. And the purpose of it is to help our clients, whether it's a board of a corporation, a senate of an entity, a government, to be able to have secure, transparent, and permanent voting records that are stored on the blockchain. Justin, can you tell us a little bit more about this product and what we're doing with it?
Yeah, so this product really came out of the work that we did through the Constitutional Convention that was held in Buenos Aires and Nairobi. This really just relies on public key cryptography to prove that people voted like they said they voted, and take the middleman kind of out of the picture in relying on blockchain as kind of the source of truth underlying the voting app. So basically what we're doing with this is we're kind of standardizing it to fit more than just the specific use case of the Constitutional Convention that it was made for, and more so just be a multi-use blockchain governance voting app. So obviously we have kind of on the more formalized and more recurring governance processes, we have the Clarity platform where people are able to create an organization and have ongoing community members and polls and turn that into a DAO. This is more so made for a less recurring kind of instance. So you could imagine a corporate governance workshop or something like that. So that is really where we see this fitting in, where somebody might not want to make a full DAO, but they have, a weekend long thing or a couple meetings that are recurring where they want to use blockchain governance, but not necessarily a DAO. So basically this product is made to allow real world organizations to dip their toe in the world of blockchain governance and start to get, acquainted with where they could be going in the future with more and more blockchain adoption. So I think it's a good way to bring people into the Cardano ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. So as Justin said, kind of a proof of concept of that app was the tool we built that the delegates used to ratify the Cardano Constitution. And really the main goal of this is to help organizations spend less time and money creating basic accountability, while leaving the stakeholders with that organization with more trust, because as it is now, there might be opaque processes and the stakeholders might be uncertain about the integrity and transparency of board decisions. But once you start leveraging blockchain, that all changes. So excited about that one. Next update, and we talked about this last week as well, is the Japan House DAO. You can own real estate in Japan. You can receive revenue share for this kind of hotel-like property that has people staying at this in a high traffic tourism area as well. So yeah, tell us more about what's going on with Japan House DAO.
Yeah, this is really just as much as it is a cool opportunity for foreign individuals to be able to own a piece of Japanese real estate. It's also turning out to be a pretty good business opportunity. So basically, we are hosting some webinars right now with the Japan House DAO team. It's called Reasset DAO is the name of the actual DAO project, but they were able to share on today's webinar, some modeling that they have, which kind of dives into the profitability that they anticipate this project having. So I think it's super promising for the future. I also think it's garnering a lot of kind of local interest between media outlets and politicians and a whole broad range of people in Japan. So yeah, if we can be successful here and sell this out and show that it's a real way that these kinds of projects can be run and operated and sustainable, then I think that there's going to be a ton of projects in Japan that soon after choose to operate this way as well. So really exciting there. The link to purchase is now active and live. So we are actively selling membership units. So if this is something that you've had your eye on over the last couple months, as we've kind of teased it along the way, now is the time to dive in there. And if you're interested in getting a share, it's open and ready to buy.
Yeah, so just to kind of take a step back, is a lot of work has been put into building this structure that compliantly operates in Japan. So we've been working with the Japanese DAO Council, which is an entity funded by the Japanese government. We've been working with different lawyers in Japan. So I just really wanted to talk a little bit more about kind of the business opportunity through this flow chart. And this is one of my first times looking at it, so bear with me. But this is kind of how it'll work. So in the first year, there is 50 NFTs available for foreign nationals, and there's also NFTs available for the Japanese nationals as well. And if you buy one of these NFTs, you get access to a different token, which is the accommodation token. And you can think of these as tokens that you need to own in order to have a night's stay there. So 200 of them will be allocated to DAO members. And then in order to create revenue for the DAO, 156 of them will be donated or given to the DAO LLC. And really, in order to buy a night at this hotel, a visitor would buy one of these accommodation tokens, and then the DAO would burn that accommodation token, and the DAO would start to make revenue and start to share this with the owners as well. So yeah, once all the 156 accommodation tokens are burned that the DAO LLC earns, the DAO can actually buy the accommodation tokens off of the members if they're not going to make it to Japan that year, for example. So it's a really cool model that has been very thought about, and we've had to get creative in a few ways to make everything work and have the revenue share mechanism. But I'm super excited about the future of this project, and this being, like you're saying, a case study that other projects in Japan can use, because this is a huge problem in Japan. There's so much vacant real estate that just doesn't have buyers and doesn't have maintainers. So it's opening up a lot of doors, and the Japanese government sees the opportunity just as much as we do. So last thing on the docket here, and our quick little update this week, is we have a new team member. Her name is Claire. Can you tell us about Claire?
Yeah, so kind of following all the AI hype that you've probably seen around Twitter lately, we have dove into the ELIZA code and forked our own project. So that'll be Claire, the Clarity intern. So right now, Claire is going to be mainly focused on putting out some tweets to talk about what's happening in Cardano and react to Cardano Twitter comments and things like that. But yeah, I think that really this is kind of the first step into a really exciting new wave of opportunities that are going to be available to Clarity and Web3 in a broader aspect. So yeah, we're already seeing a bunch of agent frameworks go live. This is obviously a Solana-based framework, so excited to eventually port over to a more Cardano-based framework. But I'm super optimistic about the future of these AI agents. I know obviously Decimalist over with Fluxpoint Studios is doing some cool stuff to extend ELIZA to be able to take some on-chain actions and make some trades. I can tell you my head is definitely in the place of figuring out how we can hook up some DAO capabilities to these agents in the future. I'm thinking it would be super cool to have kind of multi-agent consensus happening in a DAO. So basically a DAO made up of multiple of these agents that can trade and propose trades and things like that. So I think the future is super optimistic when it comes to the marriage of Web3 and AI. And yeah, obviously Claire is a starting place for that. But yeah, I think super exciting to think about what the future holds with these sorts of integrations once they start getting extended, especially.
Yeah, and just to talk a little bit more about Claire, she is an AI that has read all of IOHK's research papers. So she's very smart. She believes that blockchains will help humans build trusting societies and be a force of good in the world. And really, you know, like Justin said, we're starting to experiment with Claire in terms of building a social media AI agent, but also talking with people like Talos and Decimalist from Fluxpoint about what are the real capabilities outside of just, replying on social media. What kind of on-chain actions can these agents take? Can they automatically create proposals for DAOs that the DAO would see benefit from, and different things like that. So super excited for Claire to be around, ever present, and we'll see what she gets up to. Awesome. And I think, any closing thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, no, go follow Claire on Twitter, see what she's up to. Yeah, she'll try to start some waves, get in the action. We'll see if we can get her active. But yeah, definitely check out the updates as those are coming. As always, we're continuing to make progress on the app itself. Got some exciting badge stuff in the pipeline. So yeah, we'll be around next week to give you some more updates and let you know what we're doing.
Absolutely. And the last thing on my end is Cardano governance. It is going to be here in a matter of moments. People could argue it's already come, but the real stuff is coming. The Plomin hard fork has been approved. These governance actions are going to be created. There will be a vote to ratify the Constitution soon by the D-Reps. There will be a vote on-chain to decide the net change limit. This is like the first ever monetary policy that is going to be enacted on-chain. There's going to be more votes following about each segment of the budget, whether it's for marketing, whether it's for core infrastructure, whether it's for open source development. So keep an eye out there. and come back here each week. We'll keep you informed on everything going on the Cardano governance side of things. So yeah, appreciate everyone very much, and we'll talk to you next week.